Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special bonus episode of the Tackle Talk podcast as we preview the Columbus Fishing Expo this weekend, February 7th, 8th, and 9th in Columbus, Ohio. Today, we're lucky enough to be joined for a quick segment with the director of the expo himself, David Hoheisel, as well as our friend and guest speaker on Friday and Saturday at the expo this year, Mike Iaconelli. All that and more on this very special bonus episode of Tackle Talk.
Hello, everybody. I'm Bill Dance, and you're listening to Tackle Talk.
Welcome to the Tackle Talk podcast, brought to you by American Legacy Fishing and Outdoors. World-class fishing gear, unmatched personal service. Now, here's your host, Andrew Hayes.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a very special bonus Wednesday episode of the Tackle Talk podcast as we get ready for the Columbus Fishing Expo this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, February 7th, 8th, and 9th. Now, a few quick details before we get into it with Ike and David here. The expo is located at the Bricker Building at the Columbus Fairgrounds in Columbus, Ohio. It's going to be open Friday, February 7th from noon to 7 p.m., Saturday, February 8th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sunday, February 9th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now, I highly recommend that you go buy your tickets online ahead of time and you have them on your phone ready to go so you can skip that big line that's usually out the door so you don't have to wait in the cold. So you can go over to nationalfishingexpos.com and you can buy those. They're $15 a day, I believe, for adults. You also get children 12 and under for free with a paying adult. It's limit 2 per paying adult, I believe. Ages 13 through 17 are only $5 a day, or you can get a full adult weekend pass for $30 and go all 3 days. Again, I highly recommend buying them ahead of time. I've seen that line get crazy in years past. It's not something you really want to wait in. Also, there will be some great guest speakers here at this show. Mike Iaconelli, who we talked to today, will be there on Friday and Saturday doing seminars and meet and greets. Fred Rabanis will also be there Friday and Saturday doing some seminars and some meet and greets. I will be there all 3 days. I'm doing a seminar on Friday at 1:30 p.m. on stage A, and then on Saturday, I'm going to do one at 2 p.m. on stage B. Both of those are going to be on topwater fishing, so that's going to be a great time. Ty Berger will be there. Russ Bailey on the crappie side will be there. Troy Becker will be there. Oliver Nye. Some great guests and your chance to kind of meet a lot of folks. Also, a ton of great vendors will be at this show for any and every type of tackle you can imagine will probably be at this expo somewhere. So we are also going to have a booth there just for Tackle Talk. So when you walk in, it's like 2 rows from the main entrance and then you turn right. We're right over there. So we'll be hanging out. I've got some new merchandise that we'll have there for sale. We've got, by popular demand, dark army green shirts with the Tackle Talk logo on them. We've got some brand new designs on highly requested coffee mugs. So we have those. I've got some cool smallmouth keychains, decals. I've got Give 'em the Beans wristbands. I'm going to have some of my personal fishing gear there for sale as well. So a couple rods and reels, some baits. We're going to have a very limited edition gold micro buzz that are all individually numbered and signed by myself. So you've got those to look forward to. Very limited first come, first serve on those. Just a ton of stuff. So stop by the booth, say, hey, we're going to have a great time just hanging out and having a lot of fun and talking fishing. So without further ado, though, let's jump into our conversation with 2 very important pieces of this expo, the director, David Hoheisel, and featured speaker, Mike Iaconelli. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a bonus episode of the Tackle Talk podcast, and for 2 good reasons. One, the National Fishing Expo's Columbus Fishing Expo is coming up this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, February 7th through 9th in Columbus, Ohio. And 2, because we have 2 very special guests. We have the director of the expo itself, David Hoheisel. We also have one of the featured speakers that's going to be at the expo that most of you are very familiar with, Mike Iaconelli. Boys, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, David, I'm going to start with you. So before we kind of go back and forth here, I want to ask you, if people are listening right now, this is going to come out on Wednesday, right before the expo. If they're sitting in their car or they're working out or they're doing whatever, they might be on the fence about coming or not. Why should they come to the Columbus Fishing Expo this year? What do you have planned for us?
So this year's our 10th year anniversary. And so we're doing a lot of special things. Of course, bringing Ike in, he started with us 10 years ago and packed the house, and probably one of the main reasons we've been so successful just off the start. It was a great show. So having Ike back is really going to be a great feature. We've got probably 35, 40 speakers this year speaking on crappies, catfishing, kayak fishing, kayak catfishing. So if anybody wants to learn something about fishing in the state of Ohio, we will have a seminar. So we've increased our stages. We're actually running 3 side stages, the main hog trough where Ike will be doing his seminars on. And then we've leased out another hog trough for our vendors that are attending the show, so that they can come showcase their lures. And I think that's a neat feature because, you can go into a booth, you say, oh, that's a neat looking lure. The guy can tell you how it works, but maybe when you see it in the water, you'll be like, oh my gosh, that thing is awesome. So we're excited about all those features. The other thing that we have a great value this year is our VIP party. It's on Friday and Saturday. And that allows anyone who buys a ticket to get in 1 hour early. And the lines at our show, it takes a long time to get in. They're going to have their own entrance. They get in, they can shop before anybody else gets in there. And then Ike will be in there for about an hour. So will Fred Rubanis. They'll get a bird dog rods for included, which is $189 value. Costs $200. You get food, hat, T-shirt. So it's a great value.
Mike, obviously, so David hinted at a little bit, we're going to learn a lot about fishing in Ohio around here. We got some locals, but you're from Jersey, so I think we are very similar in terms of probably how you grew up fishing. The struggle over in Jersey is very similar to Ohio, so I think what you're going to talk about is going to translate very well. Can you give us a little hint about what you're going to be talking about in some of your seminars?
Of course, yeah, and I agree with you. Ohio has some tough fishing. New Jersey has some tough fishing. But here's the thing. Guys all over the country have tough fishing, and we're going to talk about 2 ways to get these fish to bite when it's tough. I'm really excited about these seminars. The first one is, listen, if you've been under a rock, you might not know about it, but there's a minnow technique that's been taking the world by storm. So we're going to talk about this minnow technique. I call it the magic minnow. I got a little bit different way to talk about how to fish this, and it's not just for forward-facing sonar. So if you're bank fishing, kayak fishing, canoe, doesn't matter. This is a minnow technique that's going to work when the fishing's tough. The other one is really cool because it's brand new. This is a totally new deal. And you've heard of swim baits, you've heard of glide baits, but this is this category of soft glide baits. And the thing about this category is they're so real that even when the fish are pressured, when they're wary, when the bite is off, you're going to get bites with these soft glide baits. And it's pretty amazing the way they move, the way they act. There's 3 different ways to fish them. I'm going to talk all about that. You're going to see it in person. It's going to be pretty awesome. I can't wait.
Could it be one of these?
It could very well be one of those, and I'm glad you have that. There's a couple. We're actually going to have 3 different soft glide baits in the seminar we're going to talk about. But the Nessie for sure is one. And the thing I love about that bait is you don't have to be an expert. That is the kind of bait you open from the package. Like literally, you tear the package open and you use one of these 3 techniques, real easy to use, tied on the rod you're already using, and you're going to get some bites. So very, very excited about that seminar.
That's awesome. And I've said it before. I think as a person that grew up going to these shows and these seminars, actually, kind of fun fact, if you look at the speaker page on your website, David, there's a photo that you guys use of the banner picture of just like a packed seminar there. If you look close, I'm in the crowd in that photo. It's from 8 or 9 years ago, probably. It's a long time ago. And me and my buddy are right there in the second row. And, obviously a lot has changed since then. But that was my favorite part about going to expos was you get the chance to sit there and listen to someone like Ike, who, is a Bassmaster Classic winner, who is an Opens and an Elite Series champion, who's been an Angler of the Year, who's been a Summit Cup champion, Hall of Famer, right? And sit there and talk to you about these techniques in person with your buddies, with your family. You're 10 feet away from them. You don't get that opportunity very often, especially for us folks that are out here in the middle of nowhere in central Ohio. So it is my favorite part about expos. But Mike, you've been to a million expos. You have been to a lot of these. growing up to now speaking at them. What's your favorite part of like a large regional expo as an attendee?
Yeah, well, that age of the shows and the seminars, I felt like it was getting ready to go away. So to have these back, like honestly, it's such a good feeling. But there's so many great ways to get information: magazines, websites, Bass University, podcasts like this. But that in-person learning, there's nothing like it. When I was younger, early in my career, I went to these shows, and so I think the value there to meet and greet is so important. The other thing is, in any other sport, you're not going to get this. You'll never get this in baseball, football, golf, tennis. You'll never get it. Fishing's very unique. Come out. I want to meet you. I want to shake your hand. I want to talk to you one-on-one about this stuff. You'll never get that in any other sport. So it's very unique. And I'm proud to be back at this show. This show, early in my career, I did this show. Now I'm an old guy. I get to come back. So thank you, David, for inviting me back to the show. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And one thing I want to say about Ike, I've known him for a long time, and probably the hardest working fisherman that I've ever met. Loves the fishing in general, but most importantly, what I've found over the years is how much he loves talking to kids. And he will sit there and talk to a kid till the kid stops talking. And I remember at ICAST last couple of years ago, I just wanted to ask him a quick question. And it's going on like 15 minutes. And I'm like, come on, Ike, come on, Ike. And he will not brush off anybody. And that's what makes him so great. So we're going to let 2 kids, 12 and under, and for free with each adult ticket. We're probably one of the only companies out there that does that. It's only $5 for a 13 to 17-year-old. So really want to get the kids to come out. Ike will talk to them, probably have a couple hats or something to give the kids, and we'll have some stuff for the kids. So I think it's going to be a great year for us.
Ike, for you, if you're walking around a place like this, I mean, you're a tackle guy, like, we both are too. Is it hard for your wandering eye, like when you go to expos like this, you're like, I should be doing my seminars, meet and greet and stuff, but then you look out of the corner of your eye, like, those are some nice custom painted crankbaits. Oh, that's kind of a cool looking, soft plastic I've never quite seen before from some local guy. Is it tough, like your ADD brain of just a tackle guy, to kind of tune that out at an expo?
Oh yeah, I think if you love to fish, if you're a fish head like me, like we are, you're also a collector and you're a tackle junkie, and I think that's all of us. So the nice thing about being at a show versus Tackle Warehouse, Bass Pro Shop, something like that, you could touch it, you could feel it, you could see it, you could turn it in the light to see how the color changes. So, there's nothing like shopping like that. That is the best shopping experience, to be able to touch it, feel it, look at the lure. And then you get that interaction from the manufacturers that are there, from the pros that are there, and that's unique. That's special. You're not going to get that at Tackle Warehouse, that's for sure.
No, and I've told David this before too. Like, I think not only do you get to feel the product, you get to talk to the guy or girl that made that product too. You get to ask them questions, pick their brain, and if you are just a complete, tackle sociopath like some of us are, it's like that's a really cool experience too. Just why did you do this? Why did you make this change versus this change? Why did how do you fish it? How did you design this to be fished? And you don't get that anywhere else. You're walking through the aisle of Walmart, you just pick up and go. And here it's a very special experience. So, David, I know we talk a lot about bass fishing at these type of expos too, but it's important to remember a lot of times it's not just a bass fishing expo. Like, there's going to be stuff here for, crappie guys and catfish and panfish and everything. What can folks for like the multi-species or the different types of fishing expect at the expo too, not just bass fishing?
Yeah, sure. We do talk a lot about bass, but we have probably as many or more seminars that are not bass oriented at the show. We've got Russ Bailey doing finesse crappie tactics. We've got Ryan Bortz doing kayak catfishing. Doug Stewart's doing a local one for Buckeye Lake. Chad Harmon's doing muskie. We've got 3 or 4 guys doing walleye. So, we're covering pretty much every species. Maybe we don't have a carp fishing seminar. And then you're on the schedule this year.
Yeah, we'll be doing some too. Yep.
And then the other thing new this year, or not new, but we're bringing back Briarwood Sporting Venue is going to be teaching kids how to fly fish. So anybody brings their kids and adults, anybody who wants to learn how to fly fish, we're going to have a fly fishing area.
And then Ike, for you too. So you have seminars where you have these, sort of structured things you'll be talking about, and you have an idea of where the conversation and the tips and stuff go. At the end of these, will folks get the chance to, chat and ask questions or do more of a Q&A at the end of these? If you've got like a kid, or if you've had a question that you've wanted to ask Mike Iaconelli, do you have the chance at this?
That's a great question, and it's always my favorite part. I've got in my mind, I know the seminar, I've got an outline, I've got an agenda, but I love the after, I love the before, I love the meet and greet sessions. That's a chance if you've got a question about anything in the world. I mean, listen, fishing related, it could be algebra, it could be a question about a breakdancing move. If you want to know what Kevin Van Dam's really like, I'll answer that question. So I love these impromptu little segments of these seminars where, I just get to chat with people one-on-one. And that's one of my favorite parts of it. You don't get that any other place. So I cannot wait to field some of these questions. I'm sure there's going to be some good ones. I'm sure.
Well, finally here, obviously we'll let you guys go here in a second. David, give us the basics. Where can folks buy tickets? What's the price? What's the open and close times of the dates? What do people need to know?
So the dates are February 7th through the 9th. On Friday, it's noon to 7. Saturday is 10 to 6. Sunday is 10 to 3. With the VIP ticket, everybody can get in 1 hour early. The cost for an adult is $15. That allows 2 kids for free with each adult ticket. Seniors and our special forces, Army, I don't know what the word they use nowadays, firemen, police, everything, our service people at $10. They just have to have proof at the gate. Those tickets have to be bought at the gate, the discounted ones. But online, I recommend everybody buy their $15 ticket. We have a 3-day pass for $30 to buy it online because you can get through the front door quicker. And they can buy that at nationalfishingexpos.com.
Well, thank you both, boys. David, we appreciate all your hard work putting into the show. Mike, we're excited to see you here in Ohio, back at the show. Again, we're obviously, you've had a lot of history here, and we're excited to see both of you. I will see both of you there, but ladies and gentlemen, that is the National Fishing Expo's Columbus show this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, February 7th, 8th, and 9th in Columbus, Ohio. More info, nationalfishingexpos.com. Thank you, boys, so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you there.
Okay, folks, there you go. Come on out, say hey. It's going to be an awesome time, February 7th, 8th, and 9th this weekend in Columbus, Ohio. For more information, visit nationalfishingexpos.com. There you can see the speaker list, the seminar times, you can see a vendor list, a map, the link to purchase tickets is there. It's all over there on the website. Come by the booth, say hey, hang out. We're going to have some really cool stuff for sale that you guys have requested for a long time. And I'm just looking forward to seeing you all, new faces, familiar faces, and just kind of getting the chance to chat fishing with you all and just say a big thank you for listening to the show. So I appreciate you guys as always, and we will see you out at the Columbus Fishing Expo this weekend.
Thank you for listening to the Tackle Talk podcast. Tackle Talk is produced by Andrew Hayes. Copyright 2021. Please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.